Hello, parents and guardians. My name is Deontay Young, school counselor here at West Springfield High School. Thank you for taking the time to submit your questions and thoughts regarding the transition to high school as well as adapting to virtual learning. In order to address your questions accordingly, we have created a panel that consists of teachers, counselors, and the ninth grade administrator. First, we will discuss questions regarding homework, organization, and time management.
Hi parents, my name is Jenny Walker. I am the math department chair and an Algebra 2 teacher here at West Springfield. Today we are sharing tips and tricks for homework and organization. My first tip for math is to make sure that your student is checking out the Schoology upcoming list. This list helps kids keep track of things that are due in the near future. The one thing to keep in mind with the Schoology upcoming list is it does not delete things that have been turned in. So I suggest that kids use a paper planner to go along with that list so they can cross things off as they've completed them and not lose track of anything. My other big suggestion is really encourage students to check their FCPS school's email daily and email teachers with any questions. We really want to help make sure that they're not losing track of anything or if they need a little bit of help with their homework. To avoid that overwhelming snowball that happens when you miss one assignment and then they start to pile up, we really suggest that students start their math homework as soon as possible. Try not to wait until Monday whenever that is possible. We try to give students time to start their assignments in class, and some students take advantage of that, and some need a little reminding that when everything is fresh, that's a really good time to start their homework. Please encourage your child to use Monday office hours to get extra help. They can just email their teacher to set that up or find out how their teacher sets those up. Sometimes even just 15 minutes of extra help can make a big difference and save an hour worth of frustration. So finally, just please email us as much as possible. We really want to help, and that email is more important than ever for us to know what your student needs. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Jennifer Beach, and I'm a member of the English department. I asked my ninth grade English classes and my senior classes for tips to help students succeed and manage their workload in high school. The students can check Schoology, either the list of assignments or the electronic calendar, but all of my students who were successful this year recommended using another method in addition to Schoology, where the student actually writes the assignments down for themselves. They said choosing a method to keep track of due dates and assignments that works for their learning style is highly recommended. Some of the students are finding success using a paper planner with pages for each week so that they can note down the due dates when teachers go over them in class. Other students who are more visual learners are finding success using a whiteboard or a paper calendar hanging near their workspace so the due dates are visible for the entire month. One thing that many students report as helpful is crossing off their assignments as they complete them so that they can really gauge what they still need to do. The English 9 team started off this year with all the homework due on Monday nights because Monday is the work day. But feedback from our students told us that many of them felt overwhelmed with a list of so much to do on Mondays. So we pivoted as a team and we started assigning work with due dates throughout the week. This way, students will always have Monday to complete the work because we'll let them know about the assignments a week in advance, but they can also spread the work out throughout the week if that works better for them. In English, most student assignments will be completed in Schoology, but students may also be asked to complete assignments in No Red Ink, which is our FCPS grammar and writing digital resource. They might also be assigned reading or homework in My Perspectives, which is the county online literature textbook. When students make a note of their assignments, in English, it will really help them if they add a code for where the assignment will be completed so that they know to go to No Red Ink, My Perspectives, or Schoology. Finally, to help students adjust to the high school workload, we recommend encouraging them to look over their assignments before the due date, to give them time to email questions to the teacher and pace out their work rather than waiting until the last minute, which can cause stress, especially if there's a technical difficulty. As we work on writing assignments in class this year, we encourage students to read over the teacher comments and feedback on their drafts to help them improve. And finally, all the ninth grade English teachers encourage students to keep in touch with us to let us know if they have questions or need assistance. We can't see them struggling over the work the way we would in the face-to-face classroom. So we want them to reach out to us by messaging us through Schoology or through email. We are here to help if they just reach out and ask.
Hi there, my name is Jen Owens. I am the biology team lead at West Springfield High School. In terms of homework and kind of keeping things organized for your student, I definitely recommend there being some sort of not necessarily a planner, but maybe a calendar that they can write things down on. All teachers are sort of posting things differently. And I know for my class that I always announce when things are due, it's in writing. But if students are not keeping track of that on their own, then those dates come up, sneak up, and the next thing I know, they're turning something in late. I know for our bio team, at least, most of what they're doing outside of synchronous time is going to be taking the assessments. So students shouldn't be spending an inordinate amount of time on their science work. But again, helping your student is kind of helping them time manage, writing down what time and what day things are due, because not all teachers have things due at the same time. So everything we give them a full week to get it done. I also encourage my students to try to get things done when I assign them, because I'm not going to assign them until they're ready for them. So it's definitely good practice to get the work done when it's assigned and not wait for the deadline.
Hi, welcome to West Springfield High School. I'm John Thorson. I'm the team lead for World History 1 and I also teach the honors class here. This is questions about organization, and from our standpoint, students do best when they come up with a system of planning that fits their style. There's no specific agenda or planner I'd recommend, but I'd look for something that you could look at a week-long glance and have an idea so you can plan out the week, and at the same time have a place in there that you can look at a monthly calendar so you can plan out those larger projects and those major due dates of tests. Regarding homework and projects, it's all about small bites and taking it one step at a time. I think students frequently wait until the night before work is due to start it. I'm a strong proponent of starting work the day it's assigned. That gives you more opportunity to reach out to teachers when there are problems, ask clarifying questions, and get better feedback and direction. I think students do better when they do 20 or 30 minutes of work every day, not 8 hours of work on Mondays, which will really overstress your work on Mondays. When they plan out and stretch out the work over a long period of time, it enables them to decompress a little bit, helps them remember the work a little bit, and it alleviates the problem when things arise, because life happens. And so if you wait until last minute, life happens. If you do little bits as you go, you get ahead of the game, and that actually makes you better prepared for class.
Hi, my name is JT Alyukonis, and I am an engineering teacher here at West Springfield. I think that if I were to recommend a planner or a calendar agenda, I would probably go, personal opinion, I would go with something Google-based. Google Calendar is a fantastic product, and it's something that I use personally, and it keeps my life completely organized, my entire family's life organized. Without it, I don't know if I would ever know what was going on. I don't know if it's available with their FCPS Google account, but if they have a personal Google account, a personal Gmail account, they can absolutely use that calendar feature. They can set up reminders, they can color code things, they can put assignments in, they can put due dates in, they could anything they wanted to, and they can get alerts for that on their phone so that it's something that they can be reminded of regularly. When it comes to figuring out how long something should take, how to manage deadlines, I think that the best thing to do is for your son or daughter to take a look at the project, take a look at the assignment, take a look at the homework when they get it, and get an idea for how long it's going to take, and set up checkpoints as they go through and as they work on it. If a teacher gives them a project and they have 2 weeks to work on it, it's usually not something that can be done the night before. So if they break it up into blocks, they do this portion in the first 4 days and this portion in the next 4 days, I think that can really help it to be broken down. And instead of one big daunting task that they have to work on, it can be something a lot smaller, a bunch of things that are a lot smaller, or a couple things that are a lot smaller, whatever it may be, so that it's more manageable and it doesn't reach that point of overwhelming. I think that it's very easy to become overwhelmed, and with all the time that they are spending looking at computers, and with all the time that they are spending basically doing homework all the time, it's very easy to reach that point of this is just too much. And I think if I were, my kids aren't old enough to be in school yet, so I think if I were at a point where they were, I would recommend to them to take a break, to take some time to themselves, go for a walk, go outside, go take a nap, just make sure they have time to relax. And I think that's might sound a little bit counterproductive to getting all of their work done, getting all their tasks done. But I think that overall will make them work better if they know that it's okay to take a break, and they know that it's okay to relax and prioritize themselves on occasion.
Hi, West Springfield parents. My name is Emily Halstead, and I am a Spanish teacher here at West Springfield High School in the World Languages Department. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about some ways that you can help assist your student in being successful in world language this year in our virtual platform. First and foremost, an agenda really helps keep students on task, especially for freshmen who are making that big adjustment to high school amidst a pandemic. So I really encourage all students to kind of have a planner, whether it be a hard copy of a planner or Post-it notes, or if they enjoy the electronic version. I know for my students, I always have an electronic version of a Google Doc agenda that students have access to see upcoming assignments and assessments and the themes and topics that we're focusing on that week. I really encourage your students to take advantage of that to stay organized and know what's coming up. As far as homework and projects, I really encourage you to encourage your students to just ask questions. So many teachers have different platforms and different ways and expectations with virtual learning this year, and I know that can be very overwhelming for our freshmen. So I would definitely encourage your students to ask questions, even if it seems clear, even if they seem like they have the right idea, always ask. I would always double check with your students, hey, have you checked in on that project? Do you have any upcoming homework assignments that we should know about? And if not, if they need clarification, always feel free to reach out to anybody in the World Language Department, especially their teacher. Could be email or via Schoology. How can I assist my son or daughter in adjusting, assigning, managing homework? I would definitely say that encouraging them to have good time management, not leaving everything to those Mondays when some students tend to get all of their asynchronous work done, is beneficial as that may be. For some students, I know it doesn't work for all. So really encouraging them to break up their homework, maybe do 5 or 10 minutes. I know for my Spanish students, I always encourage vocab retention to study for about 5 to 10 minutes every day instead of leaving it all to the last moment. So definitely checking in with your child to make sure that they have adequately studied or completed an assignment over time instead of leaving it all to the last minute. I know a lot of our students tend to procrastinate just because they have a lot on their plate, but really just encouraging them to do that 5 to 10 minutes a day specifically for world language will pay off later for them in their proficiency development.
Now we will address questions regarding working and communicating with teachers, utilizing SIS and Schoology, and additional academic resources for students.
This video is to discuss SIS and Schoology. So an important thing to remember is that Schoology is our organization system. That is where you should go if you're looking to find assignments, due dates, notes, presentations, or recordings. SIS, on the other hand, that's our grade book. So if you're looking for grades, what has been completed and what has been graded, please look at SIS for that information. Be sure to check it often. Now the big question, what if you check SIS and you find that your student is struggling? My first bit of advice is to email teachers. Every student is unique, and this year more than ever, we really want to be able to give specific advice for each child. So email us and we'll let you know what we see from our end. We would love to hear more of what you see from your end. Peer tutoring is available through the Peer Tutoring Center, so that is another option. And then Schoology has videos for all classes and slides for many classes. We have Pear Deck takeaways from teachers that use Pear Deck that students get in email. And MathSpace has a textbook. A lot of kids see the homework aspect of MathSpace, but they miss the textbook. So I'm going to take a minute to show you those things. So please excuse my slides being a little bit messy right here. But this is my Schoology class, and something that students sometimes don't know about is if you click on Collaborate Ultra, where they usually go to class, in the top left corner, these 3 bars will bring up recordings. And if they pick recordings, they can find all of their classes right here. So if they're having trouble solving by factoring, they can click on this recording and they don't have to watch the whole thing. They can skip ahead to what they might need. In materials, we try to put as many things as we possibly can so that students can find notes, activities, what their homework was. Everything is here somewhere in Schoology. If your math teacher uses Pear Deck, then at the end of class, students receive an email that has a summary of our slides from the day, as well as whatever they wrote in their slides. So they get their own notes. They don't just disappear, they're right there for them in a nice little printout. The last item we have is that MathSpace textbook. So if students click on textbooks, if they are struggling in a certain area, there are practice questions and also lessons. So the kids can find all kinds of worked out problems and videos to help get through their assignments. So those are some great ideas to support your students. Thank you. Email us for more.
In terms of working with SIS and Schoology and kind of going back and forth between the two, with regard to SIS, most teachers are going to put a 0 in for a grade if it has not been submitted. I personally will only put 0s in if I have graded the class's assignment and your students isn't there. So if it's a blank in the grade book, that's not necessarily meaning that it wasn't complete. But those 0s, those are the things that you need to encourage your student to take care of. If there's ever a question about a grade that's in the grade book, emailing the teacher is the fastest thing to do. Of course, we would love for your students to do this because opening communication between the teacher and the student is a great way to sort of set them up to be able to communicate in the real world. In terms of making sure that assignments are submitted on time, there are timelines in Schoology. Using a planner can certainly help with that. If your student is struggling and continues to struggle, they should definitely reach out to the teacher. Parents, you too can reach out to the teacher. Sometimes it's just a matter of meeting one-on-one with the teacher a couple times, and then the student sort of gets the hang of things, or they realize that they're making things harder for themselves than they need to. I know for my class, we do all of the work that are in their digital notebooks together. So there should be no reason that any student is having to do that work on their own. All they're doing outside of class for biology is taking tests. And certainly retakes are available. And again, just open that line of communication with the teacher, and we'll answer questions as fast as we can. We appreciate the patience that parents have with regard to us getting grades in the SIS and get them updated, because grading digitally is much different than grading on paper. So it does take a little bit longer. Thank you.
Regarding parent view and grading, we have a bit of a interesting setup because we have 2 different programs going on here at West Springfield. We have Schoology and we have SIS. SIS is the grade book. SIS is the grade that matters. We do collect work through Schoology. We grade it in Schoology. So Schoology has a grade book as well. The two aren't connected. So we physically have to take the grade out of Schoology and put it into SIS. For grading purposes, we have a real general idea here that anything submitted should be graded and returned to a student within a week. The vast majority of us immediately turn that material from SIS into Schoology, from Schoology into SIS. It may take a few days to do that. If you find that you're getting grades but they're not in there, reach out to the teacher and let us know. That's something we can fix quite quickly. When you're looking in Schoology in the grade book, there are a couple of things you want to look at to see whether or not your student has done the work. If you look at the reports there, if it's blank, there's no submission, okay? If there is a blue page there, that means the student submitted the work. We have not graded it yet. If there's a number, it's graded. If there's a little thought bubble, there's a comment there. And I would recommend looking at any of those comments because it actually takes extra steps for us to provide comments and ensure that you can see them. So there's value to reading those comments. I'd also recommend that students check their email regularly because we do send feedback through email that needs to be addressed. And if the students aren't in the habit of checking the email regularly, that can be a problem. In SIS, we use a variety of codes to recognize things. DNP did not perform. The student didn't give us anything. It's a 0. It's incomplete and needs to be redone for some reason. That feedback would have been given to the student, and until it's completed, it's a 0. EXC, the student's excused from it. There's no reason to do it. ABS, they were absent and still need to do it, or a number grade. Those are what you will see in SIS, and then that is pretty consistent in there. If you're looking for support for your student, if you think your student's struggling, reach out to us first. Ask us our opinion. Ask us what we believe is going on. That's the best place to start. And then from there, we do have a lot of resources in the school. Peer tutoring is a great resource. They're set up to help right now. The various school honor societies have programs in place that they're trying to set up virtually as well. So we do have other considerations. Again, reach out to us first. We're here to help. We all have the same goal in mind, to see success for your students. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joe DePorter. I teach 9th grade health and PE. So our grades are not always posted immediately onto SIS. Schoology will show the most updated grade for a specific assignment. Please work with your child to check Schoology and SIS together. As far as parent view goes, please familiarize yourself with it. If you're having issues with it, you're always welcome to check your student's SIS account for the same grades and same assignments and same rubrics and such. Remember, grades will be shown in Schoology first before they're posted in SIS. Each teacher is different with how fast they'll post in the SIS. I've been using Mondays, our asynchronous time, to do that. Some teachers are taking a little bit longer, some are doing it sooner. Please also be aware that if an assignment is turned in late, it may take a little longer to get posted onto SIS. As far as our SIS grading goes compared to Schoology, Health and PE uses standard base grading. So you can see that on our syllabus. We have mastery, competency, emerging, and not turned in lieu of our A, B, C, D. So we have to transfer Schoology, which is a more of a 100-point scale, into our grading system, our standard-based grading. So that does take a little longer going from Schoology to SIS. And then as far as if your student is struggling, West Springfield offers peer tutoring, which students have used before for health assignments in the past. Maybe not so much PE, but larger health assignments they've used. Use Monday asynchronous time as far as we have that. And then Learning Seminar is a great time for students to catch up on any missed work or ask questions, as we don't do any new material during Learning Seminar, but we use that time to remediate.
I'm here today to talk about how students can keep track of their progress in English and find help with assignments. First, let's talk about student grades in English. They'll be finding their grades in 3 places. This year, most of their assignments will be in Schoology, and they can check the Schoology gradebook for feedback. They can click on the rubric to see a writing rubric and how they've done in each category, etc. However, the Schoology grade is not their overall grade because they might be doing assignments in 2 other places in English. First, we have No Red Ink, which is our grammar and writing digital resource. This year, We will use No Red Ink for some ninth grade writing assignments, as No Red Ink provides guidance as they draft, such as model essays they can look at or tips about the type of writing they're doing. So students should look at No Red Ink to get feedback on their drafts, but they will be turning the final draft of each essay in on Schoology for grading with the rubric. Students will also find some of their assignments in My Perspectives, the FCPS online literature textbook. This means that the grades in Schoology are only part of the overall picture for student grades in English 9, so SIS will be the official gradebook. Students and parents should look at Parent View and Student View to see how students are doing in class. Remember, giving detailed feedback on writing assignments takes time for English teachers. Most of us spend about 10 minutes per essay writing in comments and giving feedback on the rubric. So some of our major writing assignments may take teachers longer to grade. Please be patient as we work to give good feedback to the students so that they can improve their writing skills.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Morgan and I'm the director of Peer Tutoring. Peer Tutoring is a resource that's available to all students in the school, 9th grade through 12th grade. We tutor students in all subject areas, including the more obscure electives and classes such as econ and personal finance and driver's ed. So we have people who can help you with anything. Our tutors are trained in tutoring best practices, and they are 10th through 12th grade students. If your 9th grader is interested in receiving peer tutoring, or if you're interested in your 9th grader receiving peer tutoring, they can join our Schoology group. I will repost our code on the 9th grade Schoology page so that you guys can access that. And on our Schoology page, we have a link to our peer tutoring website. The website is where students will go to schedule their appointments, but what's also great is we have bios and photos of all of our tutors as well. So when a student signs up, he or she can request a specific tutor. If not, a tutor will be assigned to them based on whatever the assignment is and what the need is that the tutee signs up for. If you have any other questions, my email is at the bottom of the screen. It's mmorgan2@fcps.edu. We look forward to seeing your 9th grader in peer tutoring. Bye, guys.
Hi, it's Kay Rizzuto again, class of 2024 admin. I would like to thank the teachers who have taken the time to record the messages for you today. They did an excellent job describing Schoology, Parent View, where to find grades in SIS, tips and tricks, and specifics about their departments. Really appreciate the time and effort that they spent this afternoon to record for you. The other thing that I would like to say is one of the other questions was, when are the 9th grade students coming back? Well, we hope January 26th, and we will see how that goes with the school board and FCPS leadership. We will keep you informed through Mr. Mukai's newsletters and messages online. The last thing that I would like to ask is of you. I would like to ask you to go in and make sure that you have signed the Parent Consent for Digital Resources approval. Our teachers have spent a lot of time this summer and this quarter learning new digital ways to interact with your students, to get to know them and to get to know what content they still need to learn and what they do know already. So they're wonderful, fun ways to learn, and we need your approval to continue using those practices and those tools. So thank you very much for doing that if you have already so, and please do that for us now. Again, if you need to get a hold of me, you can reach me at dkrizzuto@fcps.edu. Thank you.